Chaotically Nerdy is a podcast made by nerds for nerds. This podcast is made by adults, for adults, and children with bad parents. Adult language will be used and adult situations may arise. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Chaotically Nerdy. On today's episode is me, Tyler, and
me, Jarrett,
and
Ethan.
And joining us again, we have Ashley, our resident badman, who is at this point probably 7 episodes behind.
I am fucking not. Fuck you, Tyler.
We already talked about it before the podcast, so I knew you weren't that far behind. I just
got twisted knife a little bit.
Yep.
Listen, shut up. You don't talk that much.
That's fine.
He didn't talk last episode.
No.
He probably won't talk much this episode.
That was primarily me and Ethan.
Yeah. But that's because you guys had the most knowledge about the topic.
That's fair.
So today's episode, I've titled it, not titled it, but the script title is 2-piece, maybe a 3-piece, because there's 2 sections, maybe 3 sections we'll get through.
It's not one piece.
No. God, no. We don't have enough time to talk.
No.
We don't
That
have
would be like
1,100
an
episodes.
18-piece.
It's the 20-piece McNugget.
It's like the 100-piece McNugget.
Yeah. So we got 2, maybe 3 topics we'll talk to, depending on how long we bullshit about each of these topics. Because we are good at that.
Yep.
So to jump into the beginning of it, we're going to talk about some of our favorite video games from when we were kids / what makes us feel nostalgic. And I'm going to roll the dice of fate. Oh, fuck, it's me. Right off the bat.
Sucks to suck, bitch.
It's all right. I actually came prepared for this part of it. So there are several games that I remember playing as a kid that make me feel nostalgic. Pajama Sam's one of them. I've already talked about that in a different episode. Freddy Fish, like all those games make me feel nostalgic because those were the first like video games that I played on a computer. The first video games I really played was like Duck Hunt, Mario, but I don't feel like a nostalgia for Mario in that way.
That dog in Duck Hunt, I tried to shoot it so many fucking times. It's not even funny because it pissed me off every time it laughed.
It's funny because there's actually a like horror game that's essentially Duck Hunt, and you can shoot the dog in that game.
I would love that.
It's a VR game.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't do VR though.
Yeah, it's a VR horror game.
No, thank you.
And you're a kid playing this video game, so it takes you into the video game. You shoot everything, you can shoot the dog, and then as you come out, you see the dog outside your window, and it like moves by, and then as time goes on, you keep playing Duck Hunt, and the dog gets like closer and more horrifying things happen.
Was it you that sent me the Scooby-Doo thing? Velma meets herself?
No.
Oh, I'll send it to you. It's terrifying.
Oh, no.
It's Scooby becomes sentient, and he starts killing people as they're starting to remember their past. He kills the whole fucking gang a couple times.
Solid.
Oh, it's terrifying.
Good. Daphne's a jerk.
It's usually Velma who figures it out.
Oh. Well,
And-
she would.
She would.
Yeah, that makes sense. Then there's some other nostalgia games that I played. Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. I feel like, Jared, did you not play this? How did you avoid this?
It does not ring a bell.
It is literally a Tasmanian tiger. I'm showing images to everybody.
I distinctly remember that game.
I remember I played this game so fucking much.
Nope.
So you got different styles of boomerangs that you could switch through. Like you had a fire boomerang, an ice boomerang, and it's just a little Australian Tasmanian tiger running around. Now, granted, if there was to be a remake of it, I would want it to be like a mature rated version, whereas Australians being like, "Oi, cunt."
Oh, you cunt.
Some other games that made me feel really nostalgic that I remember playing a lot as a kid. Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. Does that sound familiar to anybody?
No.
Okay. So, again, showing the image of the game,
Nope.
even though nobody knows what they're talking about. That was one that you went around collecting different, like you had to rescue eggs, and they were all different type, like they gave you different powers as you rescued them throughout the game, if I'm remembering correctly.
Unless they're Fabergé eggs, I'm not fucking interested.
Right now, you can buy Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg, the GameCube game, for $99 to $124.
Yeah, that shit gets expensive when they don't, especially Nintendo stuff, like they don't remake
And
it.
they're used. Another game was Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy.
Okay, that's the game that I was going to bring up too.
Okay.
I loved that game.
Yeah, that was really. You can buy it right now for
Yeah.
$14.99 to
What is
$20.99.
what is this game?
Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy. You play as
I've seen that before.
you play as a basically Sphinx,
Looks
and
vaguely
you have to
familiar.
go through levels in order to beat your rival, who becomes evil. But at the same time, you also simultaneously play as a kid who gets killed by his uncle.
I think
brother?
so. Yeah, he was a pharaoh, or like in line to be a pharaoh, and they killed him, and so then he became the cursed mummy.
Yeah, and you can switch between the two of them. All of the levels switch between the two of them, but you have to like go through a bunch of levels and like puzzles and stuff in order to beat the game. They actually just released it on the Switch too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have it on PC and Switch, and I fucking hate it on PC. It is
Really?
awful. It did not go well.
Didn't port well.
But on the Switch, it is absolute perfection, and it looks amazing. Even for being as old of a game as it is, it looks really, really good on the Switch.
Gotcha. That good. I'll have to look into that. Another game that I almost can guarantee Jarrett played, iNinja.
That sounds really familiar.
So you play this like little, I don't even want to say like Pikmin style. It's not Pikmin. It's a little animated character that you go through levels as a ninja. You have to sneak around, throw stars, use your sword, all that good stuff. One of the last ones I want to mention, and I don't remember a thing about this game, but I know that I played it. Tak and the Power of Juju.
Oh yeah.
I played the
Also
fuck out of that for
sounds
GBA.
I played it. I can't tell you a thing about the game.
It's a side scroller.
I just seen it and was like, I know that I've played
It
this.
was good.
It was
It was
good.
really good.
And then there's several other games that are nostalgic for me, but they're not worth mentioning because they have like games after them that were very similar. So like Need for Speed, Most Wanted. I remember that game, and Underground 2. They were so fun and they bring back a lot of nostalgia for me, but they make Need for Speed games consistently. So there's not a, I mentioned it, but there wasn't a need for it. And then we're going to jump to Ashley.
All right, so I did not come prepared to this, but I actually do have a few games that I had come to mind. So Sphinx was actually one of them that I was going to talk about.
It was a good game.
It was a really good game.
I'll probably have to go back and play it because as a kid, I was not very good at the puzzle games. And so the Mummy gave me trouble.
I'm still not, but it works really, really well on Switch. I'm actually at the part where you're in a temple and you have to like shoot your dart gun across to pull up a platform and like ride the platform. Except I can't get the timing quite right still.
I think that was where I usually would stop.
But I'm like really, really close to getting it. Another game for me personally is Crash Bandicoot. There's nothing more nostalgic for me for my childhood than
They
playing Crash.
recently remade that.
yeah, like 4 years ago,
Yeah.
something like
Has
that.
it been that long? Good
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Because they remade Spyro was another one that I thought about mentioning, but they
pre-pandemic,
remade all that
bud.
too.
Yeah, for another one for me was Jack and Daxter. My sister and I
yeah,
played
yeah.
the shit out of Jack and Daxter because we only had a PS2, so we would take turns playing for a while. But Jack and Daxter was like the game that we turned to at pretty much all points in time.
You're going to sit here and name off all these games, and I'm going to remember more. Ratchet and Clank,
Yeah.
which is probably one of Jarrett's, but still is.
Ratchet and Clank is one of the best games too. That was the other one that we had when we were really little. It was Jack and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank. But Ratchet and Clank actually just came out with a new game recently, a couple years ago, I think. But it's still up there for like really, really well done games. I mentioned this in the last one that we recorded, but Pharaoh and Cleopatra for me it's absolute perfection for a Civ builder. I love the feel of it. I actually still listen to the soundtrack when I'm studying. I'll just flip it on and just focus on what I need to. But for me, Pharaoh and Cleopatra was like the game of my childhood. I still kind of get the same feeling, the same nostalgic feeling from playing RuneScape too. I'll every once in a while pop into old school RuneScape. I usually play RS3, which is the most current version of it, but old school RuneScape is my like nostalgic moment because I think my current account is 16 years old. So I played the shit out of that as a kid. And that's like, if I want that hit of childhood, I'll go and pick on RuneScape. Yeah.
I don't blame you.
But yeah, I think that's all of the ones that I have. Obviously, like the Pokemon games too.
Yeah.
But that's
We did a whole episode on Pokemon games, so
Yeah.
that's kind of why I didn't even mention it, because everybody knows they're nostalgic. Jarrett, you're up, bud.
So I actually mentioned a couple of mine. Ratchet and Clank, specifically the second one, Going Commando. It's like it had this very interesting like new game plus that like it rewarded you if you kept beating the game, you kept just like leveling your weapons up.
Oh,
You
didn't know
kept
that.
going, yeah. So
I don't think I ever
I
played it
beat
one
like 3 times. It still kept getting new weapons and interesting stuff. Jack 2 specifically, because I didn't really like Jack and Dexter 1 because it was more like a whatchamacallit, like a not side scroll, like a Mario. I'm trying to think of the word for it. Like a
Platformer?
platformer. That's where I was looking for.
Yeah.
Jack and Dexter or Jack 2 is just more like a shooter, just like.
Yeah.
Jack 3 was gorgeous, though.
Yes.
Jack 3 was gorgeous.
But
It
I
was a
didn't.
wonderful game.
I didn't have it.
I didn't have either of the Jack and Daxters.
only
There's
had 2.
3 of them.
I know. I didn't have any of them.
Yeah. That, and then obviously I mentioned in the previous episode, KOTOR 1, I beat probably 10 times. I don't know. Digimon World 3. That's an
Yeah.
old classic.
That is
awful game, but I sunk so many hours into it to the point where I got stuck to where I was just stuck. And back in them days, you had one save file. Couldn't go backwards.
Yeah.
And I was like, I ain't starting this shit over.
I forgot
then-
about Digimon, honestly.
Yeah. And then like
it's so good.
more teenage nostalgic ones was like Modern Warfare 2, Budokai, Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. And
Yeah.
then all the
There's a lot of nostalgia for like the teenage years ones like that.
yeah, that's really all of that I can think. Obviously, like Pokemon, but we already we had an
Yeah.
whole episode based on that. That
Yeah.
we all played that growing up.
I still play it. My kid
Yeah.
still plays it.
I think that's about it.
God, I miss that feeling of Modern Warfare 2.
Oh, it's so good.
Like just going to a friend's house
I
and
was so disappointed that
Play.
the recent remake was not true to the original game. It was just basically slap.
yeah, it was
the
basically
previous
just use
game
the
on
name.
it.
Yeah.
That was my ex-boyfriend and my sister with Halo. Is they would all just come over to my house and they'd set up their Xboxes and all play Halo together. And I'm like,
Yeah.
y'all are
Do
fucking
you,
nerds.
do you remember doing
Oh
that?
yeah, going to
The LAN parties?
Jacobs and playing. Everybody just trying to kill Ryan.
Yeah. We'd basically
We had
we
it was like
play
8v1.
Yeah.
And he won
Every time.
pretty much every time.
Because that's all they did whenever Ryan
That
Smith-
sounds like no fun.
Yeah.
No, it was
Over time.
When he went to college.
awesome.
Yeah, because we were young enough that losing didn't matter.
Yeah.
It was like, we're doing this until we fucking beat him. And you'd get close enough that you'd be like, I could do this. And then, Ethan, you're the last up. I don't even have to roll the dice.
It sounds like you guys were like PlayStation.
I was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
PlayStation and GameCube were my
I didn't have anything but like from Nintendo until like Halo 3 came out. And then I had a Xbox 360.
Gotcha.
But say start back from the Stone Ages. Let's see.
Back in my day.
Back in my day.
Pong. That's his.
Yeah, no, I'm not that old. No.
sure?
Yeah. Well, so like several Mario games, of course, are going to be on that list. But I think the one that stands out the most is Yoshi's Island. It's one of my favorite games ever. So much fun. Plus, you get to hear the baby crying all the time. That's so much fun. No, it's a really good game, though. Let's see. Of course, Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
I can't say shit about that because, as you are well aware, I have never played a single Zelda
We're
game.
gonna play. Don't
I
worry.
have played one and not very much of it because my grandparents on my father's side bought a GameCube for all the kids
Yeah.
and just picked a few games. So when I was over there, roughly once in a great moon, we would play the games, and that was the only time I ever played it. But that actually brings me to Super Mario Sunshine. I did play the shit out of that.
I also forgot to mention Golden Sun was another game that I played.
Really
the
thought
shit
you were
out
going to
of
say
as a kid.
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye
we did
was-
play that a lot
yeah.
too.
GoldenEye was my next one.
I mean, really, I can go through a lot of like the old
But
Nintendo games.
exactly, that's kind of the problem. Is I don't want to mention too many because
Yeah,
there's
you'll
so
be here.
many of them that were just really good and
Do an
NES,
episode on Nintendo
SNES.
games. Yeah. I'm not,
That's
making
true.
that happen, but do a whole episode dedicated to Nintendo games.
Yeah,
We could probably do
you
that.
could. Then like in '98, I switched over to like a lot more PC game. Baldur's Gate is
Yeah.
like one of my number one games
kinda
for
figured you would say
nostalgia. I don't know. It's definitely not the easiest game in the world. So they did like an updated version, like an enhanced edition of it. So you can get it on Steam now.
Yeah.
And if you go and play it, it is not the easiest thing in the world to play, especially if you don't know exactly how to play that game.
Yeah, it's very complicated.
It's a very complicated game. And then I would say the next thing would be Total War Medieval. It was Medieval Total War 2, I think was the next one that really sticks out. And then I got one more, and it's, forgot the name of it.
Battletoads.
No, not Battletoads.
Donkey Kong Country.
Oh, no. Well,
Oh, fuck. That reminds... I know you know about it. There was a Donkey Kong game that had the bongos that attached to the GameCube.
I remember
And
vaguely
you had
that
to, like, it was
accessory.
literally just a music game where you would hit the fucking bongos. And it was so stupid, but I loved it.
Well, like Diddy Kong Racing was really good, and so was the Donkey Kong for 64.
Yeah.
The yellow cartridge. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really good.
Yeah.
Also really annoying with the rap song. Yeah, the rap intro was really rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Bounty Hunter, Star Wars Bounty Hunter, probably one of my top ones. Tried to go back and play it. The controls are garbage. Be very careful if you're going to play that one.
Gotcha. Now, to jump into the next point of the topic that we have, would you want a remaster of any of those games? If so, what specific games? And would you want them on a specific console, like, say, Switch, Xbox, or do you want it just ported to PC? Ethan,
No,
none of them.
I still have all my consoles, so
Yeah.
I don't see a need for it.
Gotcha. Yeah, but sometimes it's nice to have updated graphics,
And well, I mean,
but it's not a
Baldur's
necessity.
Gate's already ported.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and like I mentioned Battletoads earlier, they redid a master of that, and I don't think it went through great from what I remember.
Well, they did Warcraft 2 and Warcraft also.
Yeah.
Not Warcraft 2. It was not great.
Yeah.
It was not great.
It happens. Oh, it's me that time. Like I said, if they did a remake of Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, which I actually found out there was 3 of those games. I didn't know that.
I didn't
I only
know
ever
one.
played the first one. I want it as a mature version and to just be funnier with the adult.
Actual Australians.
Yeah.
Narrating it.
Do you
Yep.
want it revoiced by Carl Urban?
Yes.
Yeah, as
Yes.
Billy Butcher?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've been fan casting Aaron Taylor Johnson, so throw him in there too for some reason. I watched Bullet Train.
I know you did.
He should be in everything.
He should.
And the other one, I guess, I want to play it again, so I would like a PC port, but I don't necessarily need a remaster, is Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. I remember having a lot of fun with that game, and I'd like to replay it. Not that I need it.
I
But
will say that all of the Freddy Fish games and the Pajama Sams and all of those games, they actually are on Steam now.
and they actually hold up fairly well
they really do.
because they're not a lot of moving parts.
I had an issue with the Schoolhouse one, which is I think Freddy Fish 2.
Yeah.
But my kids enjoy playing the fuck out of those games. They'll constantly be, Mommy, can we play Freddy Fish? Mommy, can we play Putt Putt? Mommy, can we play Pajama Sam? And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm cool with getting you guys into gaming.
Oh, Putt Putt goes to the zoo.
That is my all-time favorite Putt Putt game. Okay. Also, Fatty Baron Putt Putt, the birthday party one. Do you know what I'm talking about? You play as a stuffed bear, and you are supposed to, or no, it's just Fatty Bear. They do have a Fatty Bear and Putt Putt one, but you play as like this teddy bear that has to go prep for his girl's birthday. And like you have to make a cake and you have to get all of the shit. It was a really good game. My kids also really enjoyed that one.
Gotcha.
So when Stella gets older, they're all on Steam. I think I bought 20, 30 games for like $99. It wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, I think I backed out. I was going to buy them when they were all on sale, and then I think I backed out for some reason.
Worth it. It's worth it.
Jarrett, would you like a remaster of any?
Yes, but they're already making it. KOTOR. That's already in the works. I will play it when it comes out.
Well, that's to milk the cash cow that is Star Wars.
Yeah. Milk it, bitch.
Milk.
Does it
I
get
want-
milk or meat?
I want more.
Not again.
Yes, again. Always again.
Always the milk
outside of
meat.
that,
I mean, they've already done Ratchet and Clank that
Yeah.
they remastered. They done Jack and Daxter remastered, didn't they? Or am I crazy?
I don't
I
think they
don't
ever
think
did.
they did a Jack
But I
and
also
Daxter
don't have a PlayStation anymore, so it'd have to be like
Yeah.
on PC.
on PC, and I don't really see them doing that in a
Yeah.
non-exclusive window where they'd be like, it's on PS5 for 2 years.
Yeah,
and then-
but most, I mean, yeah.
they are porting a lot of their exclusives over, but it's like a time window. They're like they have to be on here for like 18 or 24 months or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's all I could think of that I would be like, yeah.
Okay. And then Ashley, you're last up.
Yeah, so I will say that obviously we had a discussion earlier about Sphinx coming to PC and Switch. Those are the only two that I have. I will say again that the PC version is garbage. Don't do it unless you have a controller, and then maybe. But I haven't tried it. The Switch version is way better. And I will say the other one that I brought up for my Civ builder, Pharaoh and Cleopatra, they actually did just remaster it in 4K, and it released about 3 weeks ago. I'm not sure how I feel about it because, like, the old style graphics, it was definitely 90s graphics. But I think that kind of gave it that charm,
Yeah.
that little nostalgic charm, where in the current one, it's not, and it's weird to me. I'm not really 100% sold on it. But yeah, Jack and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank, they've already remade them. Yeah, I think those are the only two that I really, if they hadn't already remastered them, would have wanted them. But again, I'm not 100% sold on the new Pharaoh New Era one. It's still the classic game, but it's just, I don't know, the graphics are weird to me. Maybe I just need to get used to it.
Gotcha. And then last little question on this point, which doesn't actually line up because I redid 2 questions. We've already talked about if we wanted to remaster and if they wanted to be specific consoles or PCs. No, not that part.
No.
Are there any niche games that you remember playing that none of us may remember?
I'm actually genuinely surprised that you knew what Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy was.
Really? I played the shit out of that. as a kid.
Genuinely. I mentioned that game to a lot of people, and they're like, I have no fucking idea what you're talking about. And I'm like, it is an amazing game. Just go back and play it
Yeah.
if you can. So, again, I was, like, really, really shocked that you knew the game.
Oh, there's one that I'm thinking of. It's called Gun. G-U-N.
I remember
I
that.
remember Gun.
Okay. Well,
We had it for the GameCube, I think.
It had a
yeah,
yellow
it
cover.
came
right?
out. Yeah, it came out on GameCube. It was one of, if not the best Western games. Most people actually said that it was the best Western game until Red Dead Redemption 2.
That's impressive.
Yeah. So we're roughly 20 minutes.
Gecko.
Fuck, I remember that.
It was really good.
It was like a weird,
It was like a weird 3D platformer.
yeah,
But it was definitely for adults.
yeah,
I was not an adult.
he was like a weird,
Yeah.
like almost sexualized character.
Yeah. It was good
That's
though.
weird.
It's
The
oh,
game
God,
itself was really good.
I'll
though.
look it up to show everybody. I remember playing that. I don't
Back
know
in the
why.
fucking day where we could get away with having weird, overly sexualized video games, and no one would bat a fucking eye at it.
Gex.
Gex, that's it. That's it.
Came out in 1994, and then they have other episodes. They have other games like
I
Gex, Enter the Gecko.
I was 2 when that game came out.
I was 1. It was probably Enter the Gecko, but here's the
You were,
like
like, 10.
PlayStation cover.
Yeah, I have no recollection of that game.
I know you
definitely,
remember it.
yeah.
That's the second game I think was Enter the Gecko.
That looks.
It
kinda
looks so familiar.
But I don't.
It's
never
almost-
played it.
Ryan had it.
It
but
is
the
like a
cover looks familiar.
Yeah.
It's a spy game essentially.
Yeah. It's pretty good. I also mentioned it on the Civ Builder episode. Warlords Battlecry. If you like Warcraft style games, I'm not talking like World of Warcraft. I'm talking like the build up your resources and whatever and build your army and stuff. Like for the one map. So it's like StarCraft or Warcraft or something. Warlords Battlecry was really good. It had its own like little like lore backstory stuff and the magic system was really good in it, and it was a pretty good game. But I think you can get it on Steam, but it looks a little rough now.
Yeah, that's a problem that I'm finding with a lot of the older games that I used to play is they're rough. They're something. They're not great for especially for the games that have been ported. They don't usually port well.
The top-down games do a little bit better because they were just literally texture pictures just printed on it. But when you go to like 3D games, it gets really rough.
Every single time you mention a top-down game, all I can think of is It Takes Two, which did it so well. It did it so
Okay,
well.
that's not an old nostalgia game, but
That game
It Takes Two is phenomenal.
Yes, it is. I saw on your list that you have an episode about It Takes Two, and it is an amazing game.
Do I?
Yep.
I don't remember that whatsoever. But I think it was mentioned in like a video game for
I do have one. It's not a really niche, but it was just one that like I remember me and Taylor having like the hardest time. Like it was a co-op game.
No, that was the
Dragon Ball Z Sagas. it was such
All
a
the Dragon Ball Z
That was
games
the
had like this weirdly hard.
no, this one was
aspect
like,
to
was
it
like
at some
this-
point.
I don't know how to explain. It was like so fucking hard, like so hard.
Yeah.
It was like you played through the story, but the combat in it was so hard to beat the bosses. It was so difficult.
Yeah.
There was a sheet here.
The
It Takes Two.
Yeah, we talked about.
oh,
it
that's a
little bit.
TV show.
Yeah,
Oh.
Yes.
It's a good game. You
Yeah.
should do an episode on it. Ethan and I could
I
handle
don't.
that whole fucking
Yeah, it was. We haven't even completed it yet.
game. We
though.
haven't. We're
We got like
6 out of 9 chapters.
I did think of an old game that none of us mentioned, Sly Cooper.
Oh
Iron
my
Like
God,
Thieves.
Sly-
Sly
Yes.
Cooper.
Yeah,
Did you play? You probably didn't play Sly Cooper.
yeah, you
I
Cooper
didn't
was
have a
amazing.
PlayStation.
it's PlayStation, but yeah.
Oh, that
It was, you guys were talking about Gex or something, and it was like a spy.
It's similar.
I was like,
though.
I would absolutely
it.
want a remake of that.
I think
That
they
was an
did
amazing
make a
game.
I
remake.
feel like
Didn't
they did, but
I don't.
I mean, like I would mention Spyro, but it's already happened, and it's really
Yeah.
good.
It is like
It's
the
really
Spyro and the Crash Bandicoot remakes look beautiful, and they hold that nostalgia so well. Like the gameplay feels the same to me.
I have Spyro on my Steam wish list. I just haven't had a chance to actually get it because, you know, poor mom moment, but it's definitely on my replay list. I remember going to my cousin's house and playing Spyro and Crash Bandicoot, and that was like my childhood at their house.
The new one,
Mm-hmm.
the remake that came out, like, well, I wouldn't say new. It's like 6
couple
years
years
old.
old, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
It's
they
really good.
have not made a remake.
Of Sly Cooper.
Yeah.
They fucking need
That's-
to.
They made a new game in 2013.
that's 10 years ago, bud.
I know, but that's from what I'm looking at. That's the last one. So like,
Is that also Insomniac?
I don't know.
Your 10-year comment makes me feel really fucking old, and I hate you, Jared.
Would you like a walker? I can go find one.
I do. I need flames
not-
painted on it,
Yeah,
though.
go faster.
I also need light up shoes.
That's
so
how
that
you
can
fall.
see.
But no, because there was Sly Cooper, there's Sly 2, Sly 3. Then they come out with the collection in 2010 where you could buy all
Sucker
three.
Punch.
And then 4, which is Thieves in Time, is 2013. The game started in 2002 and went to 2005. Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. I could not remember the rest of that name for the life of me.
Sly Cooper was an amazing game. I distinctly, that was, I think, one of the other games that I played when we were playing Ratchet and Clank and Jack and Daxter.
I played the absolute shit out of.
I think I played the second one, which is Honor
Yeah, that's the.
Among Thieves. Is that what
Yeah,
it
I
is?
think so.
There's some other games out there.
No, the second one is Band of Thieves.
Did you
Band of
ever-
Thieves. I think it's that one.
Did you
Honor
ever play
Among Thieves,
NBA Jam
No,
That's what I forgot to mention. NBA Street.
Street?
no, Jam.
I'm not into sports ball.
It's fun. I played it when it came
know.
out on the iPhone, I think, like 10 years ago
So
or something.
NBA Jam and NBA Street are two different games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
NBA Jam is literally where you're just the big head.
2v2.
I love it.
2v2.
It's stupid.
Okay, I wanted to know if that was the one you were referring
Yeah.
to because NBA Street is a completely
And then
different style of game. It's like a
Volume
3v3. Yeah, there's a volume 1, volume 2. They've remade it. I think there's like 5 volumes now. But NBA Street is also just as fun. It's very similar, but it's a different perspective. You're not
I'm just
like
thinking
side
of
the
more
court.
games now because like the original like Battlefront games
Yeah.
were wonderful games.
I'm also thinking about it. There was a game, I forget what card game it was, but you basically had like a crash simulator, and the entire point was to get as many points as you could up on crashing your vehicle. What the hell was the name of that game?
I remember it. I just can't remember the name.
I cannot remember it, but I remember my sister and I taking a fucking bus, a city bus, and just ramming into as many vehicles as we could. And that was like what we did for hours. And I do not remember the name of
Was
that
it on
game.
a PlayStation 2?
I think so.
Crazy Taxi?
We could
no.
No.
we could remake that in real life.
No, thank you.
Oh.
I need to go home to my like kids. and
MX versus ATV.
shit. No.
No, I know it's not
I
that.
was
I'm
like,
just
no.
naming a game. As I look this up, because now that I looked up like Crash Simulator or whatever, it
It had a racing portion to it, and I do distinctly remember playing the racing part. But
that also reminds me of fuck, what's it called? Twisted Metal.
Yeah.
Crash Nitro Car.
There's also Tekken.
Yeah, Tekken's a good one.
Tekken was good.
the second you say it, I'm going to be Gran Turismo 3.
Did they have a crash?
Did they have a crash one?
No, I don't think so. Fuck, there's like some old detective ones too that I remember playing, but I can't remember their names. Apparently, I wanted to be a detective when I was a kid because I played a lot of fucking detective spy style games.
There was like a genre like Splinter Cell, like all those.
Oddly enough, I didn't play Splinter Cell.
Yeah, but it was like all those like your
It was like
platforming spy type games where you're like had to sneak around and
Well, like
shit.
Metal Gear,
Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Hitman. That was later, but
A little bit later, yeah, but still same
same
general-
premise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Burnout.
Burnout.
is it? I
It's
looked at
Burnout.
Burnout and I thought that wasn't right.
Yep, it's Burnout.
Huh. Interesting.
Burnout Paradise.
I think
That's the newer one.
yeah, because they made a new one. Oh, that is right, because that's what Achievement Hunter did for a long time. They would play Burnout and
It's the map
see
that-
who could get the most.
Yeah, it's the map or the corner to corner on the big giant map.
Yeah. There was another game that popped into my head, but now I forgot to mention it.
Yeah, this is the game. Burnout
Yeah.
3.
Yep.
Burnout.
I remember that.
I mean, there's like stuff that I don't think like we were super big into, but like our friends were like Guitar Hero.
I was in a that's the other one. That's one of them I
mean-
wanted to mention because it's such a big game. Like Guitar Hero, it's a large franchise. A
Band.
lot of people bought them.
Yeah.
And they were really big for a long time,
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
We had them for the Wii. And that's
that
So
tells
did
you.
I. It
That's
was
another-
really weird.
That's another nostalgia game that I think I totally forgot to mention is so I grew up in a hunting family where I was the only one that didn't hunt, but I sure as fuck would play Cabela's Big Game Hunter. Sure as fuck would.
Dangerous Hunts was
Yes.
one that I remember playing, but my mother would not let me play it after 8:00.
What was that?
Why?
What was that
Because-
stupid game? It was about hunting, but you were the deer hunting the hunters.
Yeah, I know exactly which. It's a PC game because I love the
was
shit out of it.
old.
Because you would be like, "Give me a second and I will look it up."
Help! I'm alone and naked, and I have beer and pizza.
Yes.
And that was your call to get the hunters to come out.
Yep. And you just see fat hunters walking up to you.
You just
and
shoot 'em.
shoot them.
I see no problem with that.
No, it's hilarious.
It was hilarious. Dear Avenger.
That's it, Deer Avenger. Oh my gosh.
I have no recollection of that game.
Oh, it's hilarious.
I think you could probably still find it somewhere, and you could play it. And it's God, it's good because it's so shitty. It looks shitty. You literally just sit there and you mash that fucking call button until one of them shows up.
And then you just point your mouse and shoot them.
Yeah,
That's it.
It's
the
so
game.
simple.
That's amazing though.
Yeah.
But no, my mother would not let me play Dangerous Hunts after 8:00 because she was afraid it would give me nightmares. So that was like, all right, cut your game off, play Gex.
As a parent, I can tell you that it is really awful having to deal with your kid having nightmares. My ex-husband is wonderful. He let my kids watch the movie 8-Legged Freaks.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
And yeah, my daughter absolutely has nightmares about it now, and I'm just like, God damn it, stop.
I mean, that's part of life, though.
I think the earliest PC games I got into, though, now this is going to be kind of like, oh, he's
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 old.
An
a
actual
dork,
diner.
an actual dork. The earliest PC games I got into were point and click, like puzzle games,
Gotcha.
and they were like the hard ones, like Myst. Like,
Oh, yeah.
they're like really strong, like hidden mystery,
Yeah.
like long point and click games, and they were really good.
So, I actually one of the other game types that I used to play a lot of is the hidden objects games.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So, I distinctly remember playing with my mom the Ravenhurst series, the Mystery Case Files Ravenhurst. There are 5 in the whole fucking series, and they are all amazing. They've got a really good story to them, which is surprising out of a hidden objects game series, but they were amazing. We spent hours at like 11 o'clock at night playing these fucking games, and she would sit next to me on the couch and we would just find all of the objects. I feel like a dork too.
Oh, yeah.
I think the first PC game I ever distinctly remember playing, and probably not a fucking one of you knows this game, it was called 3D Dinosaurs. No?
Nope.
Never
Sure
heard of it.
don't.
Okay. You basically went into like a Jurassic Park type simulation game where you could like explore the landscape around you, and they had like puzzles that you could do. This is like Windows 95 era.
Nothing.
Jared got in trouble.
He was fucking with shit, and it was coming through.
No.
I could hear it going. Something.
But yeah, I distinctly remember playing 3D Dinosaur as a kid, and there was a lot of really good puzzles to it, and it looks fucking awful. As an adult, I'm like, how did I play this shit?
Most games do.
Yeah. What do you think your first game that you ever remember playing is, Jarrett and Tyler?
Duck Hunt. That's the first game I know I played.
Probably Super Mario Brothers.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the follow-up.
Yeah.
Was Super Mario.
Didn't have Duck Hunt. Didn't have the gun.
We did.
That was because I also come from a hunting family. That was like when they bought the game, that was what they bought with it.
Yeah.
Which honestly, I was kind of surprised they bought like an old school Nintendo because they didn't seem like the type to be like, oh, yeah, let's let you play video games. I think my grandpa might have wanted to just play Duck Hunt.
My dad.
I think he was a closet nerd and was like,
Well, I mean, that's how my parents were. So, like, the Christmas after, like, the first Donkey Kong Country game came out for SNES, my parents got me Donkey Kong Country, but the box was open. And there was a save file where they had already completed the game because they'd make me go to bed at 8 o'clock at night.
And then
they would play the game, and then they'd shut it and pack it all up for Christmas, and then they wouldn't rewrap it or anything, but they'd just pack it back up in the box and then hide it. And then the next night they do the same thing again.
Which, by the way, tip for parents: if you're going to buy a new game or you're going to buy a console or something like that for your kids, nowadays take the game out, take the console out, update the freaking game for the kid.
Oh, there's nothing worse than having your child want to play a game and you have to wait 45 minutes for an update.
The first Christmas,
45 minutes.
yeah, that must be fucking
Must
nice.
be like, it'd be like 10 hours here, probably, if it's like
45.
45 minutes. For
How many
like,
gigs?
If you're doing like a 60 gig game,
We're going to bed tomorrow. I go to work. It'll be done by the time I get home.
Yeah, no shit.
no, it's like 45 minutes for me.
Yeah, this
Must
is
be.
what you're looking to come into here.
Yeah.
in the bluff, it'd be better than here. But
Yeah, if you
I
go to
mean,
Bluff.
Jeremy's got 1 gig down
Yeah.
for his internet. So.
Oh my goodness.
He's got the good one.
It's only like what 20 miles away.
One of the other
Something
games
like
that I
that.
wanted to mention that I really loved because of the way it played, Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man, Spider-Man Ultimate. Is that the one where you got to play as Venom?
yes.
Okay, because I love that because you could switch back and forth. The characters played differently. Like, obviously, you played as Spider-Man, and then you could play as Venom, and you can go around and just eat people.
You just unlocked a core memory for me because I forgot playing Spider-Man 3, I think. Spider-Man 2,
Spider-Man 2 was the best one.
on where you could like actually go through the city and like
Yes.
I distinctly remember that game now.
That was the first game, I say only, that was the first game I beat multiple times.
I don't know if I could list the first game I ever beat.
Well, I say multiple times. Like, I beat games, but I would beat them once and then I would just be done with them. I never picked them back up.
I don't think I have any that I can list.
That you just beat flat out the first time.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yoshi's Island for me. It was
Really?
the first one. I just was like, hey, I'm going to do the whole thing.
Foundation. Foundation is, I think, the first game that I've ever completed and picked up
Really?
and played again.
Goat Simulator was the first game that I 100% the achievements on.
Really?
Yeah.
Goat Simulator.
Props.
Because
Props.
when it first came out, it had like 8 achievements. They were hard to get, but you could get them. And so I was like, I'm doing this. And then they added DLC, so I'm no longer at 100%. But,
Sucks to suck.
yep.
Yeah, I don't think I ever like played a game to completion ever in my life.
I just recently 100% in Hogwarts Legacy, too.
Congratulations.
Which was not as hard as I thought it would be.
You Hufflepuff.
No. So I'm upset at the Hufflepuff quest, actually, because, the big thing is, you get to go to Azkaban. Also, this reminds me I need to correct something I said on the Hogwarts Legacy episode. I said that your candle in the light takes you to a different spot, that quest. It does not. What changes is how you get to Jackdaw's tomb.
Yeah,
So-
we were talking about that.
Yeah, but I said it wrong.
Yeah.
I said that a side quest took you to a different spot, but Jackdaw's tomb quest is the one that takes you to a different spot. That is actually where you get to go to Azkaban, is doing Jackdaw's tomb quest. So you go there, you meet somebody, then you have to go to another cave and find something, and then Jackdaw shows up, and then you go through the rest of the quest. And literally, you go to Azkaban, she casts a Patronus, and then you talk to somebody. That's it. I'm very upset.
That's not very much at all.
No, it's not.
Well, the rest of the game is a lot.
Yes.
for your first playthrough
Yeah.
of it.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
I
So-
don't foresee a lot of replayability.
No, I replayed
It
it.
feels like an Assassin's Creed game like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I replayed it as a Gryffindor, I did 3 hours because I didn't know when I would actually get to where I was. Then Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff, I did in 2 hours
Well,
because I knew like how to streamline it and just hit the stuff that I needed to hit.
let's just update then. What's your favorite common room?
I think it's still Slytherin.
It's so pretty.
Yeah.
It is gorgeous, Ethan. I've never played Hogwarts Legacy, but Ethan was sending me pictures of the Slytherin common room, and I have to say it is gorgeous.
Yep. Ravenclaw is just kind of meh to me. Hufflepuff's is nice, but again, none of it's like overwhelming. And I think like the dark tones that Slytherin has is just really good.
Aesthetically pleasing.
I like green.
It's not even the color for me. It's just
Hey, look, my walker.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
all right. So now we get to go into the other question. So this is going to be a 2-piece, not a 3-piece. And I'm going to roll the dice. I picked up the wrong one. It's the bottom question if you're looking.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Bottom
Ethan.
section.
So, with an unlimited budget, what is a TV show, movie, or book that you want to see made into a video game? I guess I should have asked the question and then rolled to go from there. I have mine. So, if we need to cut to me while you three think,
I also have mine.
I think I have mine.
Made into a video game from a TV show, movie, or book.
yes, something you have watched, read, that you are like, I want to play this and control that.
I'm going
I
with my
feel
gut
like-
instinct on it.
You go with somebody else first.
Okay,
'cause-
I will re-roll. Oh, fuck, it's you again. It's you again. The dice really want you. Ashley, go for it.
All right, so with an unlimited budget, I will say that the book series that immediately came to my mind was Aragon. I loved that book series. It was amazing. I didn't like the way that the last book ended, but that being said, with an unlimited budget, also the movie is an atrocity. The movie was an absolute atrocity. Don't watch it. I don't recommend it. Like 0 out of 10.
Yeah.
But with an unlimited budget being put into a video game, I think it would be amazing to get an actually really good rendition of the world. I would love to play as Aragon and Saphira. That is like, I love dragon games though. I love dragons in general. I think I would love to see a game made as so that you can control like flight and you can control Aragon and you have magic, and it's a really, really good world. And Ethan and I, that's the next book series that we're reading for our date night. But I think Aragon would have to be my go-to, my choice.
Gotcha.
For-
So just to do the follow-up question now, so we don't have to wait on it. What type of game would it be? Like, would you want it to be an MMO, open world? I was gonna say platformer, but obviously not a platformer.
I really like the idea of it being like linear to the actual book itself, but also I really like the idea of it being an open world so that you can go and fuck off like in Skyrim. And just do whatever the hell you want and then go back to the actual quest line, because the world that Christopher Paolini made is absolutely gorgeous. I can imagine everything that he's writing about. And you have to understand, when Aragon came out, he was 15. So like that was about the same age that I was when Aragon first came out. And I think being able to explore that world, I can't ever pronounce Alsgazia, I think. I might have butchered that. I probably did. But like the way that the world is set up and the way that he describes the world, it is gorgeous from me. So I would love to see it as like, I would love to see it as a linear game like Skyrim, but in an open world setting, so that I can actually go and explore and see everything that there is. To
So
see.
basically Skyrim.
Yeah, pretty much. Just
Gotcha.
Aragon, Skyrim.
Okay. And then Jarrett.
So I got two. The first one is Game of Thrones. Give me something like they've only really had like 2 video games. One was awful. The other one is the Telltale series, which is like, it's fine, but it's literally like a point and click adventure kind of style
it
game.
absolutely
Is
is.
that the story one where you have to like go through and make decisions on what
Yeah.
you
Yes.
do? Okay, I know. what
And
you're
at the
talking
end,
It's
they really
interesting.
don't make too
But-
big a difference.
about. No.
But I would want something like maybe like a Civ builder, like RTS style game, like of the different factions or something, or an RPG. Doesn't really matter. I just want something more in that, a video game in that world, some sort that I would play. The other one is since they just released, their second season of their animated series, and that's half of what they do. They also voice a lot of video games. I figure eventually we're going to get some sort of Critical Role like JRPG game where it'll be much in the style of like Final Fantasy or Octopath Traveler, like one of those kind of really 8-bit style games. I would also play the shit out of that if you were just like going through the actual campaigns in video game form. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Make your own character.
Yeah, I don't think I don't know that they would do it that style, but I could see them having a game based off of it. Ethan, you're up.
It's more of like an idea of pick one. But I'm a really big fan of Studio Ghibli's Miyazaki movies because, it feels like a complete world in whatever world he's written it. So, like in Howl's Moving Castle, in Princess Mononoke, in Spirited Away, it feels like a big world, and you only get to see this little portion of it.
Yeah.
Howl's Moving Castle is probably my favorite of those.
That's probably the one I would pick, either that or Princess Mononoke.
I still haven't watched Mononoke. You and I have to watch it together at some point while I'm here.
It's really good. I might pick Mononoke just because it would be simpler, because it's more like sword fighting and stuff like that. There's not a lot of just magic, but there is like monsters and demons and stuff, and there's big creatures and stuff. So somewhere between and I know don't attack me for this, but like somewhere between Horizon Zero Dawn.
What?
And okay, I know.
Let the man
Okay,
cook.
without the robot dinosaurs. Okay, pick one. Robots or dinosaurs? Pick one, but don't do both. So somewhere between Horizon Zero Dawn and Skyrim, so that you get more like in depth on your character building than in Horizon. So that's another reason I don't like it. But
have you ever read the book Howl's Moving Castle?
yes.
It is amazing.
Howl's Moving Castle would be really good. It'd be really good because you could go to all these civilizations and stuff, but plus there's technology that you could utilize, but there's also magic. Like there's actual wizards and stuff in there, and like that would be really cool to explore into the magic. But and then like in Spirited Away, it's a world behind another world, so it's like the spirit world on top of the real world, and they have like. It's all in between the two. I don't think you should have to do much in the real world, just mostly in the spirit world. That'd be kind of cool. But I think the art style would make the difference or not. You have to make it look like a Studio Ghibli.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that's understandable. So I'm last up, and I actually have two as well. One of them is Jujutsu Kaisen. I would love to see a video game in that world. I would want it like the Dragon Ball Z. What was the one where you get to make your own character, and like you could make a Saiyan, you could make Frieza.
Xenoverse?
Yes, the Xenoverse series. So it would be open world with a storyline behind it that you get to make your own character, kind of choose your powers.
Man, that'd be wild because their powers are so like different between each person.
And that would be interesting to me. The other one is a Supernatural video game.
Oh, God.
I didn't even think about Supernatural.
To me, it would be perfect as an open world. You could even do an MMO and all of you be hunters and have to team up together to take down bigger alphas.
If you did it like Red Dead Redemption 2's online, it would work great.
So
Red Dead 2 Online is amazing.
It's really good.
They did a really good job
for
with it.
those of you that don't know, Supernatural is a show about the supernatural. It's about two brothers that go and hunt monsters, basically. Or that's how like the first 5 seasons are. After that, it gets a little sketchy.
I mean, they're still hunting monsters.
They're still hunting monsters, but
Just, there's only like 7 episodes in each season that matter.
they end up killing God
Yeah.
at some point. But yeah, those are my two that I would like. Really, I could do the whole video game thing with most of the animes I've watched. Like, I wouldn't mind, and not even Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, you could do My Hero Academia. You could do Chainsaw Man. Oddly enough. Yeah, you could do a Chainsaw Man. You haven't watched it, but you could do a Chainsaw Man where you have certain demons that are under your control, basically. There is an Attack on Titan. There's been several Attack on Titan video games.
Have?
Some of them are fan-made, and most of them are just to fly around and kill Titans.
And that's pretty much the premise of the series, so.
Yeah. Well,
I'm,
Great Rumble
I'm
and-
guessing like most anime like based video games, like based off of anime shows, they're probably garbage.
Probably.
They are.
Because I know
Generally.
like Sword Art was awful, all of them.
Yeah.
I just thought of another thing that I would like. It's not necessarily a TV show, a book, any of that. It's more of a concept. I want a video game where you are immersed in a world full of dragons. So in a lot of games like Skyrim, you have only a handful of dragons that are still existing in the world. And I think that I would love to see a video game where you are in just this entire utopia of dragons, and like you actually get to interact with different types. You get to ride, you get to fight. You know, I think that would be an amazing game. And I can't think of any game that does that.
That has a large number of dragons.
Yeah.
Like Skyrim, you
So you want to be in like old Valyria with like the height of the Targaryens.
Oh, I was thinking of Spyro.
Oh, really? I was
But like you
there,
play as a person.
you know what?
You play as like a person
Oh,
in
okay.
a civilization of people, and you play as a person. And
The
you
old
can have,
Valyria.
like,
That would be-
that is
that would be
literally old
cool.
Valyria. Like they have like bajillions of dragons.
Yeah.
and
That would
it's,
be cool.
It's not just like standard sized dragons. Like I want like minor dragons. I want greater dragons. Like I want a huge range of dragons. I think that would be
Good
amazing.
dragons. Bad dragons.
Just dragons.
So it's a dating sim now.
Oh God!
It's one of those.
Stop. Just stop before
It's like
you start.
sex with Hitler.
Oh God. How many hours does Jamie put into that game?
I'm going to look it up when I get home.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have
I
to-
bought it. I bought it for Jamie.
I believe it.
Yeah.
And I would not be
He-
surprised if he put a couple hours into it.
I'm sure he has. He's the one that,
Couple
like,
hundred.
whenever you see a weird sex game show up, it's like,
He
one
plays
friend
it.
already owns this.
You're like, well, I already know who owns it.
Don't need to scroll.
Yeah,
that
I
list.
don't need to
I'll,
find.
I'll be honest. Somebody bought me Daddy Date Sim. It is exactly what you expect.
Yeah.
I bought my ex-husband a game. I think it was called Knights of Valor, where you play with another player and you go through as two gay knights trying to win the rose at the end, so that the one of the players can propose. Oh, it's awful. It's fucking hilarious.
They had that in Game of Thrones.
In return, he bought me Mount Your Friends.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep. There's also Wiener Jousting
Yep.
that
There,
I own.
what's the other one?
Or no, it's genital,
jousting.
jousting.
That's what I was
it
thinking
is.
of. You called it wiener jousting. I was like, that's not the game I'm thinking
It's
of, though.
genital jousting.
Yeah.
Way to kick the table.
Yeah, good
I
job.
didn't kick it. It would need it.
Okay. Still.
That counts as a kick.
what was the one you had about the party? And then you had
House
to,
party.
like,
House party. Yeah.
fillet everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really did. It was weird.
How did we
Why
go-
did you play that?
I don't know.
How did we go
Team
from
Hunter played it.
nostalgic games to
Yeah.
That's why.
There was a good.
Well, it's
sex
things you
things?
can't forget, right? You can't really forget them. This is just on the other end of it.
Yeah.
Also, you didn't have to
Games that
fillet
you wish
everybody.
that you
Everybody
could.
filleted you.
Yeah, it was the other way around.
Oh, it was the other way around.
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
that's better.
The guy
that's-
was like blocking off the alcohol because he didn't want people to get drunk, and you were like, basically, your character's like, "But I'll let you blow me," and he's like, "Okay." It's so fucking weird.
It is.
That is. It's okay.
Yep,
It's really
Yeah.
weird.
it's a weird game.
We've gone from nostalgia to we want to forget.
Yeah, and it was very easy to get there.
Get that hot knife back out again. Just right in there. Just get rid of it.
Lobotomize myself.
All right, so we're at 55 minutes, so it's time to wrap everything up. We bullshit our way through that pretty good, actually.
Very well.
So, as always, you can use the link in the description. I always want to say below, but I'm trying not to because it's not below. It's wherever the hell it is for you. It's an audio podcast.
yeah, like on Apple, I think it's above.
Yeah. But use the link in the description and you can find links to our Facebook, Instagram, Discord, TikTok. You can also find links to several of those at anchor.fm/chaotically-nerdy. We appreciate you listening and we hope that you will join us for the next episode.
Tschüss.
Bye.
Oh, wow.